Okay, students. Today we are going to see about questions and its types. Okay. Already we know interrogative. What is interrogative? In kinds of sentences, asking questions is named as interrogative, and we are going to see the types of those. Basic types of questions are four. Okay, yes or no questions, WH questions, tag questions, embedded questions. Okay, we know all these things, all these four of these. Okay, in our day-to-day life, we usually use all these in a literal way. Now we are going to see this in an elaborated way. Okay. First one is yes or no question. A short answer may be yes or no. That is the maximum of short answer is expected. Um, Many of these questions are formed by putting an auxiliary verb before the subject. Putting an auxiliary verb is, already we know what auxiliary verbs are, isn't it? Verb plus to be structure. Okay, I have to be, you have to be. Likewise, and do, does structure is also a part of this. And WH questions. Second one is normally, other than yes or no question, we often use WH questions. Okay, starts with question words. This WH question starts with question words. That is what, where, why, who, whose, when, which, and most important thing is how. That is not WH question, but it is also important part. It has also an important part in question. How many, how far, how long, how old, all these are comes under question, WH question words. Okay. Question word plus verb plus verb in the sense be form, do form, have form, or auxiliary plus subject and then main verb. This is the form of WH question. Okay. Where do you live? For example, take this sentence, where do you live? Where is WH question, do is do form. Okay, do form of verb, and you is the subject, live is verb, the main verb. Okay, this is how we form a WH question. Next one is tag questions. Short questions that appear at the end of some sentences, usually to show emphasis, politeness, irony, or lack of confidence. Okay. Tag normally means maybe or may not be. Okay. That is in a dilemma. The asking person, the questioner is in a dilemma. He wants to clarify it, so he is using tag. That is the original form of it. Okay. The structure of it is main class plus positive or negative auxiliary verb and then personal pronoun. You can see the example. There are two main classes, main points. That is, if the main class is positive, then the tag should be in negative. If the main class is negative, then the tag should be in positive. You can see the first example. He plays football. That is, the main class doesn't have any negative word. Not, no, such kind of words. So, usually, after the comma, after the main class, the tag is in negative form. Does, not, he. Not is the negative form. So, the tag has the negative form. And see the second example. He doesn't play football. Does he? Here the main class has the negative word, so the tag has no negative word. It is in positive. Okay, here are some examples for tag question. There are some differences between yes or no question and tag question. Yes or no question, for yes or no question, we usually answer yes or no, and for some of the tag questions also, we used to answer yes or no. But there are difference between these two. We can differentiate that yes or no question begins with auxiliary verbs or main helping verbs as the question. The main class is playing the major role, and the tag after the comma, and the tag is the question word. These are the examples of tag questions. Mary is strikingly beautiful, isn't it, Mary? Okay. For the question word itself has negative meaning, and the main class has positive meaning. The examples tag question here for special cases. Am I, ain't I, or am I, are all of a part of tag questions. More tag questions. There are also other more informal tag questions. These are all it. Okay. Using words like that, which emphasizes that you must not use just very formal questions, words. You can convey whatever you want to, you can ask whatever you want to by these kind of words. Usually we begin with these kind of words like if we don't know the answer, or if we scramble, if we think the answer, we used to manage the gap by using these kind of words. Okay, indirect or embedded questions. Okay. A little more formal and polite questions. We use them when talking to a person we don't know very well, or in professional situations. Their form is a little different. Okay. We can ask a question directly to someone, or we can ask them in indirect manner. Okay, see the first example, where is the train station? That is a direct question to the opposite person. The questioner made it clear that he is asking about the train station, the location, okay, to the second person. But see the second one, it is indirectly, somewhat it is confusing. Do you know where the train station is? Okay, which means whether the opposite person know the location or don't know. So this is somewhat indirect, but to the second person. Phrases for embedded questions. These are all the phrases that we use for embedded questions. Could you tell me? Do you know? We can ask directly the question itself, but we use these kind of words just to emphasize the position or the age, the quality of the opposite person. There are some 5 rules for embedded questions. First one is, if the embedded question is part of a statement, use a period and not a question. Mark at the end of the sentence. Also, if the question is in the present or past, simple verb tense, omit the auxiliary verbs do, does, and did, and change the verb to the appropriate form. Okay, you have to use just full stop, not a question mark, if it is an embedded question. See the example, direct question, what time did he leave? Okay, that is the direct question. We use WH question, and at the end of the sentence we use question mark. But in embedded question, I wonder what time he left. Already we said, we have seen that omit auxiliary verb do, does, did, and change the verb to its appropriate form. And in direct question, present actually means. Here we use in embedded question. Directly we go to the V3 form. Isn't it? Past participle. Left. What time he left. I wonder what time he left, and a period. That is a full stop. Okay. Full stop is otherwise known as period. Okay. So in embedded question we don't want to use question mark. For that we are using full stop, and we begin with some other embedded sentences. Sentence begins with. Okay. And rule number 2 is using auxiliary verb. There we have seen that we have to use. We don't want to use the WH question. Here the second one is we don't want to use auxiliary verbs, be form, do form, have form verbs, all those things. Okay, we can start with I wonder, could you, can you, may I, all these things. Okay. And rule 3 is do not use a verbal contraction at the end of the sentence. Okay. There should be no verbal contraction. See the direct question, where is she? Do you know where she is? Sorry, it is she. The letter S is missing. Okay. See the incorrect method. So we should not use compressed method. Compressed words. He is. We use WE and apostrophe and VE. We have. I am is the correct form, but we use I apostrophe M alone. We should not use that in embedded question. That will be marked as incorrect. Okay, other one is yes or no question. For a yes or no question, you have to use asking for the opinion. Okay, asking for the idea. You can begin with any of modal verbs, but before that you have to use likewise this. Do you know if he will be there? There are so many forms. There are so many forms for one type of yes or no question when it is changed into embedded question. Okay. And last one is the infinitive can follow a question word or whether in embedded questions. Okay. Direct question, what should I do? And embedded question, would you tell me what should I do? Asking the permission, asking the idea of the second person about what the first person has to talk about. Okay. With the infinitive, you can see the change of question. Embedded question with an infinitive is, would you tell me what to do? What should I do is from the direct question. While it becomes an infinitive, we use what to do. We know already to is the infinitive. To, for infinitive, we use the word to. Okay. So here we change what I should do from what to do. Okay, these are the 5 rules of embedded questions. So far questions is clear.